Hello, future educators, and welcome. You're stepping into a profession where you have the power to create some truly transformative learning experiences. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into how to use multimedia to go way beyond just memorization. We're talking about how to inspire your students to question, to create, and to really, truly understand the world around them. And let's just start right here with the why. Take a look at this quote from a teacher, just like you. This really captures the incredible impact you can have. You see, it's not just about getting good grades. It's about building a classroom where every student feels empowered, where they feel heard, and where they're all in it together, building knowledge as a team.
All right, here's our game plan. We've set this up to give you a really clear roadmap. We'll start with the challenges you're going to face, then we'll redefine what multimedia actually is. After that, we'll look at the key principles that make it all work, and we'll wrap up with the single most important rule to guide you.
Okay, let's dive in. Let's start with the reality of the classroom you'll be walking into very soon. The challenges are real, but I promise you, the opportunities you'll have to make a difference are so much bigger. I want you to just imagine your future classroom for a second. It's this vibrant mix of learning styles, different needs, and unique backgrounds, right? Now, imagine having the right tools to connect with every single one of them. That right there is the real power of multimedia. And listen, it's not about expensive gadgets. It's about taking those big abstract ideas and making them solid and real. It's about creating lots of different paths to understanding, no matter what your school's budget looks like. So let's talk about what we even mean by multimedia, because honestly, it's a word that gets thrown around and misunderstood a lot. It is so much more than just the latest shiny tool. It's really a whole new way of thinking about how you teach. At its very core, instructional media is just the how. It's the channel you use to get information to your students. And that toolkit is huge. It includes everything from videos and apps to simple wall charts, and even just everyday objects you can hold in your hand. Okay, this next part is a total game changer. You've got technology in education, which is just the stuff, right? The projectors, the tablets. But then you have technology of education, and that's where the real learning happens. It's the art and the science of designing a lesson based on how our brains actually work. Think of it like this. It's the difference between just having a hammer and knowing how to build a house. So when you're thinking in multimedia, you're kind of like a chef. You're looking at all these basic ingredients and thinking about how to combine them. How can a simple diagram make that paragraph of text suddenly click for a student? Could a quick audio clip make a moment in history feel real and alive? It's all about creating a richer, multisensory learning experience. So how do we put all these building blocks together in a way that actually works? Well, the answer is in understanding a few key principles about how our brains learn. These are really powerful but simple ideas that are going to guide your choices and totally transform your teaching. I want you to think of your students' working memory like a tiny little table. If you just pile on too much stuff at once, like a slide with a wall of text, a distracting animation, and background music, things are going to start falling off. Cognitive load theory is just about being a thoughtful designer. Your job is to clear the clutter, present the must-know info in a way that's easy to digest, and then, most importantly, help students connect it to things they already know. And that brings us to another huge idea. It's called Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. And what it does is it shifts our whole mindset. We stop asking, how can I change this lesson for one student? And we start asking, how can I design this lesson from the very beginning so that every single student has a way to succeed?
And this is really where the rubber meets the road. Just look at these examples. If you have a student who has a hard time paying attention, maybe you break the lesson into shorter, more varied activities. Or for a student who struggles with reading, you can provide an audio option. See? UDL is all about making these smart, proactive choices to build flexibility right into every single lesson.
Okay, this brings us to our final and honestly our most important principle. If you remember only one thing from our time together, please let it be this. Your teaching strategy, your pedagogy, always comes first. So there you are, standing in front of your class, and you have this whole world of apps and videos and books and tools at your fingertips. I get it. It can feel really overwhelming. So how in the world do you choose the right tool for this lesson for these students? Well, the answer isn't hiding in the App Store. It's right there in your classroom. Look at these questions. They're not about tech specs, are they? They're about your students. They're about your goals. They're about the kind of learning experience you want to create.
When you start with why you're teaching something, the right tools just naturally fall into place.
Now, to put all of this together in a way that you can actually use, you can think of any great lesson as having three simple parts. This ABC model, it gives your teaching a really natural and effective rhythm.
So, first up, you've got the anticipation phase. This is all about planting the seed. You're getting your students curious, you're tapping into what they already know about a topic, and you're getting them to ask questions. You're basically preparing the soil so that new learning can take root.
Next, we move into the building knowledge phase. This is the heart of your lesson. This is where the plant starts to grow. Your students are actively doing things with the new material. They're reading, they're watching, they're discussing, and they're building bridges between what they used to know and these new concepts.
And finally, you get to the consolidation phase. You can think of this as the harvest. This is where you help students look back on what they learned, sum up the big ideas, and think about how they can actually use this new knowledge. Believe me, this last step is absolutely crucial for making sure that the learning sticks.
So let's bring this all home. Being an effective teacher who uses multimedia well, it isn't about having the biggest budget or the newest tech. It really starts with your creativity, your empathy, and your own resourcefulness. It all starts with the question you see here. What real-life objects, or realia, that's our fancy education word for it, what things from your own community can you bring into your classroom to make learning tangible and meaningful? Your answer to that question, that's where your journey as a truly powerful educator really begins.